Hello, welcome to my channel. In this episode, I will be reviewing for you an African violet called Glitter Fountain. This is a trailer variety that was hybridized by Fredette. She is famous for having produced Tiger, which is one of the largest variegated standard varieties that I've ever seen, and many other beautiful African violet varieties, including trailers. I first saw this variety on YouTube. It was featured by a fellow African violet enthusiast on her channel, and I immediately fell in love. It's hard to describe the beauty of the variegated leaves on this variety. They truly look like a watercolor painting because they really glitter in different colors, as well as the blooms. The blooms have pink and some sparkled edge of darker pink or fuchsia color. It's really a very special variety, and I've never seen anything quite like that. So I was on the hunt for getting this variety for my own collection, and it was hard to find. And when I finally got a leaf from Bloom Lovers in Canada last year in September of 2019, I was so excited that I could finally grow it in my own collection. And here is what the leaf looked like when it arrived. It is on the very top of the picture that you're about to see. So these are the plants that I was able to propagate from that one leaf, and I am truly excited to show them to you today. Glitter Fountain is a standard size trailer variety. Trailers or trailing African violets grow in multiple crowns that trail over the sides of the pot. And I spoke briefly about the types of trailers that exist in my other African violet review for Rob's Vanilla Trail earlier this year. But basically, there are two different types of African violet trailers I learned. Those that are naturally trailing and those that are called semi-trailing. And the naturally trailing varieties produce branching growth in a more horizontal habit, cascading down rather than up. Whereas semi-trailing varieties often grow in a shrub-like manner, with most of the branches grown vertically. So I planted one of the babies that leaf produced separately, just to demonstrate to you the naturally trailing growing habit of Glitter Fountain. So this is just one single branch, as you see, and it just started creating two separate branches. They're still babies, and it's kind of trailing down or branching down. So this is a naturally trailing variety, Glitter Fountain. And then the rest of the babies, I planted 3 of them in a single pot here to create kind of like a little bouquet or a little flower bed of this Glitter Fountain. The foliage of Glitter Fountain is described as variegated dark green, cream, and pink. And that's what attracted me to this kind of trailers. You see there's pink here, it's very pronounced, especially in the light. When the light is directed against the leaf, you could see it very well. And cream mostly is very prominent in the center. African violet standards grow from 8 to 16 inches in diameter of the rosette across a single crown. Being a standard trailer variety, this single crown has grown all the way up to 13 inches. So this is a very large growing trailer. It's a beautiful variety for those of you who like large trailers. Normally, single crown standards need no more than a 4-inch pot, and this single crown is currently grown in a 3.5-inch yogurt cup. I was trying to find a shallow pot, and I thought this yogurt cup will do. And I just made holes in it with a soldering iron because I wick water them. So both of these plants, they are wick watered. The multiple crown one is growing in a 5-inch pot, and for this one I was creative and I used a plastic salad bowl in which I made holes with a soldering iron as well, and here it is growing in a container on a wick. Both of these plants are early into their first blooming cycles, and the flowers of Glitter Fountain are described as semi-double pink blooms with some red fantasy and red sparkled edge. So let's see if we can take a look up close here. This is how they look like. They grow with clusters on a single bloom stalk, and they create a very beautiful visual effect together with the leaves, with the variegated foliage. The flowers are about an inch and a half. And here they are in comparison to a dime coin. So they're not too large, but the older they get, the larger they grow. And you will notice that the size of the blooms on this plant, the single crown plant, is slightly larger than the size of the blooms on this plant. These two plants are grown in the same environment with the temperature ranging from 65 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now we are at 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity usually is around 50%, and right now it's a little lower, it's at 45%, and the highest point was 58%. So I'm trying to keep it around 50%. The watering method on these plants is also the same. Each of them grows on a wick, and they are fertilized using exact same fertilizing routine. They receive plain water with 1/4 teaspoon of Dynagrow liquid plant food at 795 NPK ratio per gallon of water, and sometimes I change the fertilizer to Jack's All-Purpose Classic at 20-20-20 NPK ratio, and I add 1/8 teaspoon of fertilizer per gallon of water for this one. So what is different for these plants is the size of the pot, as I mentioned, and also the type of light that they receive. The single crown is grown in a 3.5-inch pot, as I mentioned, and it is growing on a west-facing window, receiving a supplement of LED light of two types of light color temperatures, 6500K cool white and 3000K warm yellow light. And so you see how it has larger leaves and larger size blooms, and the petioles or the stems of the leaves are rather long, whereas this plant is growing on the east facing window in a larger pot of 5 inches in diameter. It grows in multiple 3 rosettes or 3 crowns in a single pot, and it receives the light from the east facing window diffused through a sheer curtain, as well as the LED light at 5000K of color temperature, which is a daylight color of the light. So the leaf stems are shorter on this one, and overall I would say it kind of is smaller in size as compared to the single crown one. And the blooms are smaller as well, and the leaf stems are shorter, and the leaves are a little bit smaller as well. So these two plants can serve as a good example of how the amount of light and the size of the pot in which African violets grow can influence their growing habits. So here they are again, the two sibling plants of glitter fountain, which is a standard trailer variety by Fredette. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I do. If you like standard size trailers or larger trailer varieties, I strongly recommend Glitter Fountain for your collection. It's a truly beautiful hybrid. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay safe and be well. And if you'd like to stay tuned for my future videos, please subscribe.